A chance to continue the streak of past Saturday where the Dragons had a 2-run lead over the Mohawks. A chance to take down a team they haven't beat in the last 24 times. It's a PGCBL matchup between the best team in the East, the Amsterdam Mohawks, and the Glens Falls Dragons. For the very first time in a very long time, welcome to Rao Family Stadium here in Shuttleworth Park for this PGCBL matchup. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham taking you along for the contest between the Dragons and the Mohawks. And it's a really important one for Glens Falls, who started this past Saturday matchup large in part thanks to a leadoff home run from Tyree Jackson. They went out and had a 2-0 lead heading into the second inning. Unfortunately, the skies proceeded to open up, and just like that, the game was called after 2 innings. Because of where we are in the season, in the final 2-week stretch, games cannot be replayed. So that impressive start, what could have snapped a 24-game losing skid for the Dragons, will not be replayed. Instead, the Dragons have just got to deal with that tough ending due to the rain, and they hope to continue it today, this time on the road. It's a little bit of a different lineup that head coach Ryan Dio is rolling out there, especially since the Dragons haven't taken the field since that Saturday rainout. Had a game on Monday the 14th against Saugerties that was rained out, and then a scheduled conflict against Utica that was supposed to be played on the 15th was not. So the first game in 3 days for Glens Falls, a well-rested team. They're rolling out their traditional leadoff hitter in Tyree Jackson. He'll be out in center field. Aiden Gallagher is the 2-hole hitter. He's trying to continue those reps in the most important spot. He'll be out in left. Nick Galello, arguably the hottest bat for the Dragons this season, is hitting 3. And then Joe Carpieres has made his way up to the 4-hole. How about Enrique Diaz at third, Jackson Mueller the DH, Chase Falcon the right fielder, Ryan Jones the catcher, and then Michael Sweeney the second baseman. We'll step aside for a couple minutes for the national anthem. We'll be right back with the Mohawks lineup. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park as we get set for the Dragons against the Mohawks. And again, a game where Glens Falls would love to get back into the win column. Their last technical completed game was a win, and it was against the Oneonta Outlaws. That was back nearly a week ago now, on July 11th. So the Dragons would love to continue, get back in there, especially after how they started against the Amsterdam Mohawks last time. On the flip side, the Mohawks, they've had an absolutely stellar season, 25-7-2. They're cruising their way to what would be a 4th consecutive PGCBL title. The issue is Saugerties has made it very much known that they can win a couple of games as well, and Mohawk Valley surprising the entire PGCBL at a 19-15-1 record themselves. It's going to be tough for Glens Falls if they want to get into the postseason. They currently are 6 games behind that final spot. But it's a lot of games, 8 consecutive games starting today until July 23rd for the Dragons. So the chance to get back up towards that final playoff spot where Boonville now sits is possible, and the Dragons just need to get hot at the end of the season. Rolling out the lineup for the Mohawks is Chris Holcraft. He'll be leading off for Amsterdam. Brandon McCrane, the right fielder, is hitting 2. Bray Touchstone, he's usually a little further down the lineup, is in the 3 spot today. He'll be behind the dish. John McKillop, the first baseman, is hitting cleanup with Will Cowan, the third baseman, behind him. John Young Jr. is in the 6 hole. He'll be over at second. The left fielder, Sebastian Harding, is hitting 7. Brad Curtis, the designated hitter, finds himself in 8, and the traditional leadoff hitter, Luke Philippi, will be rounding out the lineup in center. So a little bit of a different lineup from both sides, both the Dragons and the Mohawks, throwing out some different rosters than what they have in the past, but instead, Glens Falls, they've got to go attack the starting pitcher in today's matchup, Jack Kirchner. And so far this season, Kirchner, through 6 appearances, he's got a 1.86 ERA. It's over 19 1/3 inning of work. He's given up just 4 earned runs. And I'd argue more impressively, he's walked just 6 batters. Struck out 22 in that frame. The bad news is for Kirchner is he does have one of the higher batting averages against on the squad. He's given up a 260 average, so not a whole ton of runs, but teams are hitting a lot. And this Dragons team, if they can be successful early, hit a little bit early in the day, and get a couple of runs to come across against Kirchner, they might set themselves up for success. And Tyree Jackson looks to start today, just like he did the last 2 times these teams faced off, which was back when he had a leadoff home run. So Kirchner is all set warming up here at here at Shuttleworth Park. So Jackson will step into the box. The Dragons wearing their road black jerseys with red lettering and gray pants. Amsterdam on the flip side wearing their traditional white jerseys, white pants, and that black and red lettering. Both teams in the black caps today. The Hudson Valley Community College center fielder steps in. Kirchner comes set. The first pitch is a breaking ball in the zone for strike 1, and we are underway between the Dragons and the Mohawks. Mentioned Jackson's home run, his first of his season, to start the game against Amsterdam this past Saturday. The 0-1, chopped on the ground over towards the third baseman, Cowan, and it gets underneath his glove and into the outfield. So Jackson, an early base runner with a lot of speed, turns the bat over to the best hitter in the Dragons lineup, Aiden Gallagher. Gallagher, the sole fielding all-star for Glens Falls this year. He's hitting .293. He's got 3 doubles to his name and 2 homers as well. Jackson's got speed at first, dancing around. The first pitch Gallagher sees is chopped over to Cowan at third, who goes to field it fairly and makes another mistake. So Jackson and Gallagher both reach safely. And over at third, it's been a tough start to the day for Will Cowan. Puts runners on first and third with nobody out. Nick Galello, one of just 8 players to have 3+ homers this season in the entire PGCBL. He steps in. He squares to bunt, pulls back as the pitch was in the zone nonetheless. Got away from the catcher, touchdown. And head coach Ryan Dio showing he's happily willing to play a little small ball even with his best hitters to try to strike first against the dangerous Amsterdam offense. The 0-1 to Galillo. He lines that one foul down the left-hand side, out of play, over by the Dragons' bullpen. So again, 2 errors it was called from Will Cowan has allowed runners to be on first and second. The 0-2. Gallagher just fouls off the breaking ball. It gets out of play and over towards the parking lot.
Who do we call?
Galillo, his .278 batting average, is going to step out after Kirchner takes his time. The 0-2. Another breaking ball. Galillo just gets a piece of it. It's fouled off over the netting and into the bleachers. Bleacher section here at Ralph Family Stadium goes from dugout to dugout with some family seats and then more of that bleacher creature section that's roofed off. But there is a nice little 10-foot gap that'll allow weak foul balls to be snuck right over the netting. Galillo fouled off a couple of pitches. Kirchner looking at Jackson. The 0-2. Another breaking ball that Galillo is under. It's the first strikeout for Jack Kirchner, and it gets an important out number 1 for the Mohawks here in the top of the first.
Now batting the shortstop, a senior from Xavier, number 13, Joe Capiers.
So now the Dragons strikeout leader, Joe Carpiers, steps in to the box, and not necessarily a statistic you want to have over everybody else. Carpiers is 21 Ks. 2 more than the next closest is Jackson Mueller, who's right now in the hole. The first pitch to the shortstop is swung on and missed. Carpiers is hitting .242 so far this season. He's got a pair of doubles and a long ball as well. Kirchner loves taking his time. Young Jr. is holding on Jackson at second. The 0-1. Chopped weakly over towards the right side. Off comes Kirchner, who will flip to first to get the out. And both the runners will move 90 feet to put 2 runners in scoring position with Enrique Diaz to the dish.
The third baseman, the sophomore from Dyersburg State, number 4, Enrique Diaz.
Enrique Diaz this season, just 2 RBIs, 0 extra base hits across 13 games he started. This is number 14. The first pitch he sees, he's swinging. It's going to get foul over towards the short porch and out of play. Dimensions here at Shuttleworth Park, a little interesting. It's 330 to the gaps. It's only 280 to the poles. A little bit of extended fences out in left and right. The 0-1, breaking ball outside. One of the first pitches that Glens Falls has taken so far today. You've got an early opportunity to strike. The 0-1. Diaz hits it over towards Cowan. His third time's the charm, delivers it across the diamond for the out. So despite 2 errors from the third baseman, Will Cowan, he finally delivers a strike and gets Amsterdam out of it. It's scoreless after the top of the first here at Shuttleworth Park. Chris Holcraft, the shortstop. The first pitch is behind Holcraft. And welcome to the road, says McMahon. So now the 1-0 count. Another breaking ball that misses up, and McMahon looks a little wild to start. McMahon so far this year, one of the better pitchers in limited time that Glens Falls has had. This is his 6th appearance, just his 3rd start across 11 2/3 innings, where he's got just a 2.31 ERA. He's given up just 3 earned runs. As the 2-0, he gets a breaking ball that just misses the inside corner. Or it does hit that inside corner, so it is a ball. So count will be 3-0 to the shortstop Holcraft. The pitch is right down Broadway. So finally the first fastball that McMahon throws, he gets it over the zone to face Holcraft, who's got a 3.02 average. Got 9 doubles this season as well. The 3-1, he fouls it off to the right-hand side, and it'll get out of play over by the kids' corner. Holcraft taking the most at-bats of anybody on the Mohawks as he watches the payoff ball. And he will reach first with a leadoff walk, and that's pretty dangerous against this Amsterdam squad that can absolutely punish you. How about the 28th walk of the season for Chris Holcraft? You might think that leads the Mohawks. Nope, it'll be their 9-hole hitter, Luke Philippi, who's got 38 this season. Either way, Amsterdam's got a runner on first with nobody out to bring in Brandon McCrane, the right fielder. He watches a pitch right down Broadway. And McMahon getting it out in front of a batter. McCrane this season also hitting above 300, got a 316 through 23 games. They're going to go check over at first, as Holcraft will get back in with ease. 27 walks might not lead the Mohawks, but 17 steals, that does. Only been caught 3 times this season. Ryan Jones only thrown out 4 runners. Holcraft's on the move. The pitch is fouled off, and into the parking lot it goes. So the shortstop will have to make his way back to first, and it'll be an 0-2 count from McMahon to McCrane. An early hit and run attempt from head coach Keith Griffin. It's his 16 years with the Mohawks. They're going to go check on Holcraft again over at first. He gets back in there safely. And Keith Griffin needs to be given a round of applause for what he's done with this Amsterdam squad. 9 titles through 14 years here in the PGCBL. All this team knows how to do is win. Long pause, the 0-2. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. McMahon sits down, McCrane looking. Picks up his first strikeout of the day. So now the big catcher, Bray Touchstone, steps into the box. As you see McCrane have a little bit of a conversation with the guy on deck, John McKillop, about maybe what he's seeing out of the hands. They're going to go check on Holcraft again. Ball almost gets away from Galello over there at first, but he's able to stop it And that's an issue Glens Falls has had all season long, keeping the ball in front of the first baseman, keeping the ball in front of them in general. It's just been a struggle for this Dragons team to keep it clean. Holcraft's on the move. The throw from Jones is in time. How about Ryan Jones throwing out his 5th runner of the season? Nabbed his Chris Holcraft, who's caught for the 4th time. And that eliminates a base runner for the 2nd out. You knew the shortstop was going to be on the move at some point. It was a matter of when, and Jones just had an absolute dart of a throw to Sweeney. Now the 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball outside by McMahon. Jones flashing a little bit of leather here in the first. Maybe the Dragons trying to snap that streak have got a little bit of spark using some rest. The 1-1 chopped on the ground over in between Diaz and Carpier's. It'll get out to left for the first hit in today's ball game, and it belongs to Bray Touchdown.
The first baseman, a freshman Army, number 40.
So now a lefty in the lineup for Amsterdam. It's the first baseman, John McKillop. And McKillop starting just his 6th game of the summer. He's 3 for 15 to this point, but one of those 3 hits was a long ball. And especially with that shorter porch, only 280 again to the right field pole, with a whole fanfare section out there. You know he'd love to pull one down the line. They're going to go check over at first. This ball gets away from Galello. Bounces off the netting. Sweeney goes over. Can't quite grab it. And Touchstone will put himself in scoring position thanks to the error from Colin McMahon. So another silly mistake from the Dragons puts a runner in scoring position to a dangerous lineup that can pummel runners in no time. Couple of matchups ago when the Dragons and Mohawks faced off, it was pretty much scoreless until the 7th when Amsterdam absolutely cracked it open for about 7 runs. Next thing you know, the mercy rule was all but certain. So it's a 2-0 count to McKillop. McMahon taking his time. The pitch. Outside for ball 3. So McKillop definitely struggling to find the zone early. Not necessarily thrown a ton of pitches. As the 3-0 is upstairs in the zone for strike 1. McKillop didn't like it at all. Thought there was no way that was in the zone. Instead, McMahon gets a lucky one to make it 3-1. This will be pitch number 17 in the inning for the starter. The 3-1. Breaking ball. Outside for ball 4. So maybe a makeup call for the first baseman who didn't like that 3-0 pitch. He'll waltz his way down to first to put runners on first and second with 2 outs. So Cohen steps to the dish. He had 2 errors that luckily were stranded on the base paths due to some good defense by Amsterdam. He's got a chance to bring home a run. The first pitch he sees, he watches it right down the middle. Cohen so far this year is hitting .258 across 21 games. He's got 10 runs batted in, so he knows how to bring in a couple of runners, but .258 is on the lower end for what this Mohawk squad has when it comes to batting average. Crazy to say that half their team is hitting above 300. No one holding on. Touchstone at second as the 0-1 is popped up on the infield. Sweeney comes in, calls everybody off, and brings it in for out number 3. So 2 base runners give it a little bit of a scare to the Dragons, but they are held off the board as it's a no-run first inning here at Shuttleworth Park. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park as we're set for the top of the second. It's Jackson Mueller, the designated hitter, that gets it started for Glens Falls. Mueller so far this year has been a double machine, especially when the Dragons need it the most. His batting average might not be where he wants it, just 200 across 13 games, but his 6 doubles, it's more than double the next second guy. The 0-1, he takes a big cut over the top of for strike 2. The downside to Jackson Mueller in 2025 has been the strikeouts. Got 19 Ks so far this year, only 6 walks on the season. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. Make it 20 strikeouts for Jackson Mueller, and the second of the day for Amsterdam starter Jack Kirchner. Took just 3 pitches to start the second and make it out number 1 to bring up the right fielder Chase Falcon. Falcon been an important two-way piece for the Dragons coming out of the bullpen, but also being able to play a little bit of outfield when they need it. The first pitch he sees, he takes a big cut at, but it's too late for strike 1. Falcon's hitting 185 so far this year. He's got just 5 hits across 27 ABs. The 0-1 upstairs.
Keep your vehicle free from rust with the Crown Rust treatment at 4x.
No extra base hits for Falcon either. And only 2 runs come across to score, so doesn't get on base a whole ton. As he watches the 1-1 pitch hit the top of the zone, and he stepped out. It almost looked like it was going to hit him, but home plate umpire calls it a strike. So Kirchner trying to make quick work of the Dragons in the top of the second. As the 1-2 is in there for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts start the top of the second for Jack Kirchner to bring up the catcher Ryan Jones. It's the first looking strikeout for Chase Falcon as well. And now the guy that caught Chris Holcraft for just the 4th time this season steps in. Jones hasn't got a ton of playing time, has been getting more the last couple of seasons. Watches the first pitch strike. It's really been Brendan McLaughlin and Joe Haynes who have been the staples behind the dish. Ryan Jones getting more of that playing time as of late. This is his 11th game. He's in just 148 as he chops one right in front of home plate. The catcher touchstone comes out. The throw to first is low, but in time. So Kirchner goes 1-2-3 in the second to keep it scoreless here at Rao Family Stadium. Six, 7, and 8 get it started for Amsterdam in the bottom of the second, as it's still scoreless through an inning and a half here at Rao Family Stadium in Shuttleworth Park. Getting it started for the Mohawks will be Young Jr. does have 2 doubles and 2 homers to his name. One of the few players that can say that. That one's popped up, foul, out of play over towards the right-hand side. So Young Jr., as I say, he's got 2 home runs on the year, almost made it 3. He looks to join 1 and 9 players to do it. 0-1. This one's flown out to center field. Jackson's got to go back a couple of steps, but he brings it in for out number 1. The shortened field here at Rao Family Stadium. That play makes some of these outfielders not have to go back nearly as far. Again, it's 280 to the poles, 330 to the gaps. It's only looks to be 360 to dead center. Compare that to Eastfield, it's nearly 385 to dead center, as the first pitch is a breaking ball to Sebastian Harden. So a lot less room for the center fielder, Jackson, who's got to patrol. We know he's got wheels, so he can control center field with ease. Harden, the left fielder, stepping in, takes a big cut at the 0-1 pitch, and has dug himself an early 0-2 hole. Harden, so far this year, one of those players that's got a batting average above 300. 8 different guys can say that for Amsterdam. Hitting 303 as he watches the ball outside. Been a pretty consistent year for the left fielder. He's got 13 walks, 13 strikeouts to his name. Got a double, 2 doubles, and a triple as well. McMahon's 1-2. Breaking ball, lined into center field for a base knock. So Sebastian Harden picks up the second hit of the day. It belongs to Amsterdam, and they've got a runner on first, this time with 1 out. So now the designated hitter, Brad Curtis, will step into the box. Curtis hitting .241, takes a first pitch swinging, fouls it off to the left-hand side. Curtis mainly was used as a pinch hitter throughout most of the season, and he's just his 8th game started today as they're going to go check over on Harden at first. But Curtis, again, that's just his 8th game started. This will be just at bat number 30 for him. The 0-1. Bounced in the dirt, gets away from Jones behind the plate. That'll allow Harden to get to second. Takes a big cut round, but he'll stay just 90 feet forward. So wild pitch from Colin McMahon puts a runner in scoring position. Something to note, too, here at Rao Family Stadium. A completely turf field. At least on the infield it looks to be. Maybe the outfield complete grass, but the infield all turf. So maybe some semi-normal hops in comparison to East Field, which has got a little bit of a lower dirted area in the infield. Not as many kind of crazy situations. We've seen a lot of plays on the infield just get away from Glens Falls. But maybe a couple of the picks or some of that defensive work will be a little bit more impressive, or easier, I should say, on the turf. The 1-2 to Curtis. Upstairs. As well, the backstop much closer than it is at East Field, and all brick. If the ball stays low, it's going to act very similarly to how an overthrow over at first would. With that brick, a baseball can bounce back and come straight back towards the field. That's going to make anybody trying to steal 90 feet a little think twice. A step off from McMahon, concerned about Harden maybe moving at second. Harden does have 8 stolen bases on the year, but he's been caught twice as well. So McMahon will come set, take 2 looks at second as the 2-2. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Curtis knew it immediately. And it's a big strikeout for Colin McMahon, the second of his start, to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Luke Philippi. McMahon has gone to the well of the breaking ball multiple times today, and it has worked to perfection. Second strikeout looking brings up the 9-hole hitter, Luke Philippi. The first pitch that the center fielder sees, he swings right underneath it for strike 1. Interesting enough, Philippi is just one of 2 batters on this Amsterdam squad to have played in more than 10 games and have a batting average under that Mendoza line of 220. He's hitting just 178 on the season. The reason he's in the lineup, though, is he gets on base. A simple product. If you watched Moneyball, you know that you love anybody that can get on base. His .449 on base percentage puts him 4th on the team. For a guy that has just 16 hits over 90 at-bats, he's got 38 walks. He will find a way to get on and then come around and find a way to score. He's now got an 0-2 count, though, so he's got to find a way to fight it off, and he does so just there. Fouls this one as Falcon goes over towards the wall, but it's going to get well out of play. And that area over there in right field, that ball is not far from being a home run. If that can get held a little bit straighter, you would understand how this Amsterdam squad has got 16 long balls on the year. It's not difficult to get one out here at Rao Family Stadium. The 0-2. This one's hit on the ground in between third and short. It's fielded by Gallagher. They're going to send a runner, but he falls down. The throw into second is going to bring a run home. So Gallagher didn't realize Hardin fell down between third and home. He threw it to second to try to prevent Filippi from taking an extra 90 feet, and instead, Amsterdam is going to go on top. They lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Filippi picks up RBI number 12 this season on what has got to be one of the weirder RBIs, with Hardin falling on his face between third and home. The first pitch now to the leadoff hitter. Chris Holcraft is outside for ball one. And if you're Colin McMahon, that's got to be a tough way to give up your first run of the day. On what's not going to go down as an error. It's just simply going to go down as a tough play. Filippi's on the move, fouled off by Holcraft, so the center fielder's got to go back. We was talking about Filippi's incredible stat line this season, even with just a 178 batting average. How about 32 runs scored this season? For a guy that's hitting just 178, that's pretty impressive. He does have 11 stolen bases, but he's been caught 5 times as well, so not had necessarily the best jumps at any point this season. The 1-1 to Holcraft as they actually go check on Filippi at first. Holcraft drew a walk to start the ball game. The first full count and the only full count that Colin McMahon has seen today went in favor of the hitter. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that's lined over towards the Dragons bullpen and almost nails a couple of the players for Glens Falls sitting along the bench. So similarly to East Field, not a protected bullpen area, and with the field kind of curving towards those poles, that ball was close to being fair. Instead, curves just foul and almost nails a couple of Dragons. So Holcraft will step back in there now with the 1-2 count. Is the 1-2. This is upstairs. We've got deuces wild for the first time at Shuttleworth Park. There's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A run already home here in the bottom of the second. McMahon comes set. Takes one look at first, takes a second. How about a third? The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Holcraft was fooled. Wouldn't have gotten that one with an oar, and he'll walk back to the dugout in defeat. However, Amsterdam has hopped on top. They lead it now 1-0 as we head to the third.